What is the PMI-PBA? What is business analysis? Business analysis is defined as the discipline of applying the knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to identify and analyze business needs and recommend viable solutions to these needs. It is the process of evaluating the organization's needs and arriving at a solution. It entails working with stakeholders to define the requirements of the organization and formulate steps that will shape the output of projects leading to the expected business benefit. It includes eliciting, documenting, and managing these requirements as they relate to the objectives of the business. By consequence, it assists in facilitating the successful delivery of the product or service to the intended recipients. The BA process involves activities and tasks that cut across a variety of domains. Included in these tasks are facilitating the proper identification of problems and needs, analyzing opportunities for investment, understanding the business environment, context and constraints, identifying and analyzing requirements, formulating and recommending solutions, and facilitating the implementation of these solutions. Business analysis must be of such criticalness and importance that it is being invested with a life of its own and presented as professional discipline for managers. Researches done on failed and successful projects have indicated that a primary cause of failure in many business projects is the inaccurate identification of project requirements, which in turn leads to poor and ineffective management practices. Business analysis thus presents itself as a much-needed set of tools and techniques in project management. Practitioners and business owners who would have gained access to its proper application see it as an effective instrument for uncovering business needs, managing requirements, and creating solutions to business problems. Business analysis has been proven effective in turning up greater value to businesses than adopted it. In fact, it is predicted that the number of professionals engaging in business analysis will soar by 19% by the end of this decade, indicating only the growing need for such professional services. The PMI-PBA, the PMI Professional in Business Analysis. The Project Management Institute, or PMI, has a hand in this. In response to this growing need for business analyst professionals, it has taken upon itself the task of creating the PMI-PBA Certification course that will accredit and recognize professional business analysts. The PMI-PBA credential recognizes an individual's expertise in business analysis, particularly in its skill in using the BA tools and techniques to improve the overall success of the project. The PMI-PBA also highlights the ability of the BA professional to work effectively with stakeholders in defining their business requirements, in generating the desired output from projects, and consequently in driving successful business outcomes. If the BA skill set carries such a high level of credibility and recognition, it's because the PMI-PBA requires candidates to have a combination of BA training, project experience, and passing the examination on business analysis principles, practices, tools, and techniques. This global credential also supports individuals in meeting the needs of organizations that rely on business analysis practitioners to take on key roles in their project teams. PMI is highly expectant that the offering of the PMI-PBA course to the public will not only enhance the image of the project manager as a professional in demand, but also enable companies to engage more qualified and certified BA professionals to help them in their successful management of their projects. Who performs business analysis? Business analysis is thus a set of activities interconnected with other vital processes in project management. It does not stand alone. It is run side by side with other important tasks such as monitoring, modeling, forecasting, and other very important activities. Business analysis may be seen being employed within or alongside projects and programs. The person who performs the role of business analysis is called a business analyst, as title delineation intended to identify on whose shoulders the responsibilities rested. as his studies have shown how critically the business analysis role impacts the business. He has to perform his job very well. In order for him to perform credibly in a broad expanse of BA work, he needs to possess a number of varied skills and competencies. He must definitely be good in analysis, and creative and critical thinking, and in problem solving and decision making. He must have a high level skill in communication and presentation. Being involved in formulating and recommending solutions, he must be good at negotiations, in conflict management, and in issues management. His leadership skills must inspire influence. He must understand and know how to use systems thinking and teammanship. His interpersonal skills must be beyond question. What is the skill set and expertise required of a business analyst? Here we have prepared a series of video lectures covering the different skill set and expertise required to perform such a role. We will cover analytical thinking and problem solving, behavioral characteristics, business knowledge, communication skills, interaction skills, software applications, so stay tuned. Because of the broad coverage of the business analyst role and the varying complexities of business, different firms exhibit different ways of doing or approaching business analyst work. This is the reason differing role titles are used by companies preferring instead to assign the function of business analysis to someone who may have already assumed another position. Some companies assign business analysis to an agile team member, or to a business intelligence analyst, or to a business process analyst. Some companies assign their work to their product managers or product owners. Some to project managers, some others to business architects or subject matter experts. It is hoped that the PMI-PBA offering will provide alignment and consistency in the application of the business analyst role in business analysts and project management. One easily sees that business analysis is not an ordinary routine in business. It is usually a critical part, or a project or program that is aimed at achieving business goals. Being such an important part of project management, when a project manager collaborates work with a business analyst, the collaboration results, as the study showed, in a successful fruition for the business. It was in those instances when business analysis was done haphazardly, or when there was confusion between the project manager and the business analyst, that most failures were observed. The PMI-PBA makes sure that the confusion will not happen, though through the use of collaboration points. These are call-out points that invite attention to the critical need for collaboration and working together. These points are usually points of overlap or points of opportunities or threats. When the project manager and the business analyst cannot work together, or when they do not agree on what and how to do the tasks, the disagreement results in project inefficiencies and resource wastage. Even stakeholders get confused, resulting in stakeholder dissatisfaction. In promoting the synergistic relationship between the project manager and the business analyst, the PMI-PBA hopes that the ends of businesses will be better served. Promoting the PMBA relationship, the PMI-PBA helps clarify these confusion areas by providing the industry with a greater understanding of the work performed within business analysis and how the role of business analysis could fit into the overall scheme of projects. Not only does the PMI-PBA emphasize the need for collaboration within the project scope, is inasmuch as business analysts cut across the organization and may pervade other projects or other areas in the organization. The need to synchronize work and relationship with the rest of the stakeholders is similarly stressed. What is a requirement? A requirement is a condition or capability that is needed to be present in a product, service, or result to satisfy a contract or other specifications. It may be a feature or a description of a feature. Requirements are thus at the core of business analysis. Companies that have matured with enough experience to know better, are smart enough to start right with this discipline, have benefited from this adoption of the right approach to business analysis. The responsibility for the requirements. The lessons learned from the requirements were enough to get the experts to sit up and ask, who is responsible for defining the requirements? Specific causes point to inaccurate requirements gathering and poor requirements management as the culprits in majority of project failures. By definition, the project manager is accountable for ensuring that requirement-related work is completed within the resource parameters established. It is within his jurisdiction to have a business analyst with the necessary skill set and competencies engaged for the project to ensure the success of the project. Types of requirements. Business requirements. They describe the higher level needs of the organization as a whole, such as facing business issues or pursuing opportunities and reasons why a project has been undertaken. Stakeholder requirements. They describe the needs of a stakeholder or stakeholder group, where the term stakeholder is used broadly to reflect the role of anyone with the material interest in the outcome of initiative, and could include customers, suppliers, and partners, as well as internal business rules. Solution requirements. They describe the features, functions, and characteristics of a product, service, or result that will meet the business and stakeholder requirements. Solution requirements are further grouped into functional and non-functional requirements. The functional requirements, they describe the behaviors of the product, whereas the non-functional requirements, or the quality of service requirements, they describe the environmental conditions or qualities required for the product to be effective. Transition requirements. They describe temporary capabilities such as data conversions and training requirements and operational changes needed to transition from the current state to the future state. Two other types of requirements are project requirements and quality requirements. These requirement types are not part of the business analysis effort. These requirements are part of the project work and could be delegated to a business analyst, but are typically the responsibility of a project manager. Project requirements are defined as the actions, processes, or other conditions the project needs to meet. These requirements focus on aspects of project execution. A quality requirement is a condition or a capability that will be used to access conformance by validating the acceptability of an attribute for the quality of a result. So much weight is being attached to the requirements management in this new PMI-PBA certification course. This move is taken by the PMI following results of studies showing that many project failures in the past were attributable to poor requirements management and inaccurate requirements gathering. It has become obvious that requirements-related work were responsible for the high incidence of past project failures. It's believed that addressing these requirements issues in the new course would be a step in the right direction. The PMI believes that while requirements management has been traditionally a part of the PMBOK, the standard of program management in the project management professional certifications, the traditional thinking about requirements management must change to reflect present-day business realities. A shift in focus. Requirements management must shift from merely defining the output of projects to one of persuading internal and external stakeholders to describe the expected business results and their associated metrics. In the new PMI-PBA, PMI introduces accepted best practices in requirements management and shows how these practices work across various other disciplines. Along these lines, the PMI shall publish a best practice guide on a business analysis together with a practice standard on requirements management. These guides will be authored by business analyst subject matter experts, shall link to the practical implementations of business analysis within organizations. The standard is scheduled to be launched in 2015 as a collaborative work with project managers, value and system engineers, and business and agile analysts. Under the PMI-PBA, the distinction between project management and business analysis will be emphasized and made clear to avoid the mistakes of the past. Business analysis shall continue to be a critical part of the domain of project and program management, but this time the part of business analysts on requirements management shall be strengthened, particularly the part that involves the definition of the stakeholders' requirements for the delivery of the desired business outcome. Requirements management thus acquires a heightened focus in the PMI-PBA. The influence requirements management practices exert on projects is very evident and may not be ignored. As the importance and relevance of requirements management to projects and programs continue to rise, so do the need for the skilled individuals properly and adequately trained in the discipline to perform business analyst functions. Proper definition of requirements can help shape the output of projects and ultimately the outcome of business. The quality and accuracy of these requirements, as well as the manner these requirements are managed in the projects, may well spell the difference between project success and failure. A whole lot rests in the hands of experienced project managers and business analysts with the right certification and qualifications. The PMI-PBA is the forefront in this profession.